Welcome to the Word at Third, where faith meets real life. Each week, we dive into Scripture, share stories of hope, and discover how God's truth speaks right into our world today. Whether you're on your morning commute, winding down after work, or gathered with friends, we're glad you're here. So let's open our hearts, open our Bibles, and jump into this week's conversation. This is the Word at Third. Good morning and welcome to the Word at Third. We are actually recording this on Labor Day.
So we are laboring.
So yeah.
Labor. You know a little bit about labor.
Yeah,
Labor
let's talk
Day,
a little
don't
bit
you,
about
Blakey
some
boy?
labor, Blakey boy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
Yeah,
labor.
well.
But my wife,
Yeah.
she we had a baby Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, the days are running together now.
Yeah.
So did the nights.
Jocelyn Blake.
Jocelyn Blake, 7 pounds, 11 ounces.
Yeah.
21 inches long.
Yeah.
Baby came out pretty long.
About
Yeah.
2 feet.
Literally. Like
Yeah.
almost as tall as Jacob.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we're happy. They're both home and healthy, and that's all we can ask for. So
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. We should have maybe you can throw a picture in here. Edit it and throw a picture in there.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
make it happen.
She's a cutie pie, man. She's super cute.
Mhm,
Like,
she is.
I actually held her in my arms. She was just comfy as can be.
I got a picture of that too. It's going in the pod.
Yeah, she was just chilling, man. She was having her just a relaxing time.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
Landon
boy.
came in, just smiled the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I don't want to be like,
Let me hold your baby.
yeah, can I hold the baby?
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like-
My wife did. She goes in there, can I hold the baby?
Oh yeah.
Right. And then she held her forever. And she's like, you want to hold her? I said, yeah, I reckon.
well, it's kind of like, I know how we were with like the twins and stuff. And Elijah's, everybody was like, let me get my hands on them.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, some people, you know, like,
Yeah.
if you listen to this, not anybody that's listening to this was like, but
It wasn't you.
There
it
were
was the other
some.
person with you.
The nurse comes in. I gotta check him. No.
dude, I told Chelsea, I said when we first went into church, like we need to put just a do not touch sign on their little carriers and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude.
So-
I can't imagine 2 carriers because the 1 carrier is enough.
Yeah. So I want to know about that because some people are like, oh, here, yeah, you can hold them. And some people are like, don't touch my baby. What's the don't touch my baby thing?
Have you seen all these pictures of like people like kissing babies and then all of a sudden they get like rashes and stuff on them?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the don't touch my baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
I've
people-
always-
that's like do not
Yeah.
come up and kiss my baby in the face.
yeah.
Yeah. I was just
You gonna
wondering,
make me
like,
mad real quick.
I was just like, are people just, some people are relaxed and some people are uptight or what's the,
No, I think it's just because of like cold sores and stuff like that. If
Yeah.
people have like cold sores around their mouth
yeah.
and you like kiss the baby, it can like make that like
Keep your dirty lips to yourself.
literally.
Yeah.
Especially like with us after Ethan got sick when he was like 3 weeks old.
Yeah.
After that, it was like,
Mm.
do not come around him.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get that. I understand that. Right. You don't want them getting your babies all sick,
yeah.
you know?
Especially at like
That
being
is.
like 4 days old. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. So yesterday, great service. On the 5th Sunday, I get to participate and take notes and get filled up. And then last night we had a wonderful night of worship.
How'd that go? I had to miss out on that.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, dude, the part that always gets me is not even singing. When Helen,
dude.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
enough said, right? Like Helen gets up there and she signs, and she signed a couple of songs, and it's just like really just tuning out and watching the emotions of the music, I guess is kind of what it is, and it was incredible.
Dude,
You
she
know,
did Goodness of God and How Great Thou Art. And
Yeah.
How Great Thou Art, dude, was like on top, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I had to reach over and grab me a Kleenex or two. Yeah,
I think
It was-
I think they should like Kleenex should sponsor you, Bobby,
yeah.
because you like
Between me and Landon, man,
Yeah.
we go through a good bit.
like a bird could fly by. It's so beautiful.
He's so pretty.
I mean, I'm
Oh,
not
God.
discrediting the fact that was probably a beautiful moment, but
Yeah, it
Bobby,
was.
Bobby, man, you're an emotional guy.
Yeah, I can be. I can be.
Oh, gosh.
But I can also tune them out too. Like
Yeah.
I can be that guy too. But it was really good. The song that Mr. Jimmy,
That was good too, man.
that was a good one.
I was in there when he was
Good.
practicing, and I was
Yes.
like, "This is going to be good."
Yes.
Yeah.
I love hearing the man sing.
Yeah.
And
He
then-
sings so good.
And then it's always cool, like when somebody comes up that you haven't heard sing yet and they knock it out of the park, like Dawn.
Dude, I looked over at Chelsea, and I was like,
Desperate.
"What?"
Desperate. It was really good. I was like, come
Yeah.
on, girl.
Man.
I was like, you sing way too good to be an Alabama fan. She's an Alabama fan. Speaking of Alabama, they got thumped. Yeah. They got them go nose. How about the nose?
Hey,
Beat 'em up.
Who would have thought we had a college football weekend that Texas, Alabama, and who was the other big one that lost?
Clemson lost to,
Yeah,
they
to
lost
LSU.
to LSU at home. Yeah.
That is crazy.
And then Carson Beck with his new Miami team, they pulled it out 27-24 last night.
You know
It
what?
was a close game.
I know there's a lot of Georgia fans that don't like Carson Beck, but I think Miami fits him. You know, his style, his play. He just didn't
Well,
fit in at Georgia.
No, and he was a distraction, I
We're
think,
going
in
to
the
a
locker
sports
room.
podcast now.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk about it all right in our opening segment. But he
Go Jackets,
looks,
Georgia Tech. Want to know? It's a great
Boy,
day. It's a great day to be a Tech
I
fan.
watched the end of that thing, and boy, did Colorado hand y'all that game
Oh,
or
they gave
what?
it to us. Two
was
timeouts
like-
in the bag, and the guy wasted like 20 seconds just scrambling
Yeah.
around. I was
I'm like, what are you doing?
do it again.
yeah. It's horrible coaching. But man, and Georgia, of course, they played Marshall, but they executed.
Hey, let's say they played Marshall, but it was a team that had 70 transfers. I read.
Yeah.
73 transfers because everybody on the team quit last year. Apparently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they all
But hey,
dipped.
credit to the coach. They got some studs. Like they got
Yeah,
some
they got
really
some.
good players, dude. Like
Yeah.
just to be a team that you just pieced together over the summer.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be good.
Yeah, they'll be okay. And really, I mean, honestly, when you're playing a team like that, it's less about the other team and more about how well you execute
That's
your
right.
game plan.
You could
And
be
so they
like
did good.
whatever that school was that beat Army. They paid them like $250,000 to come up there and got beat.
Oh, yeah. Louisiana Monroe a few years back. Like
Yeah.
2017,
Was it
I think
Auburn?
it was. No, Alabama.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was 2017. I think was the year, or 2007. It's been a while. But they played them again this next weekend. They might want to be on their P's and Q's. Would hate to see them.
Dude,
not
if they-
not
if-
really.
if
Would love
Bama-
to see them lose 2 in a row.
Yeah. If Bama goes 0-2, like I know how that feels as a Tech fan, but as a Bama fan, people don't know how that feels.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, like, so, my childhood growing up, Bama wasn't great.
Oh, they're just reverting back.
Yeah, like between Gene Stallings and Nick Saban, they were mediocre. They were mediocre.
Who would have thought we
so-
would live in a world where Vanderbilt is better than Alabama?
Yeah, they did beat them last year.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt might be good this year too. That Pavia kid's a
Yeah.
beast. But
Yep. Anyway, we got to
Yeah.
get back on track.
Yeah,
We could
yeah,
talk
so-
sports all day.
I don't
we-
have much to add.
Yeah, I
to
was gonna
sports
say-
game,
Landon would love to talk sports, but he'd rather talk.
but I'm
He'd
so
rather
into
talk
listening
Jesus.
about it.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, did y'all have wings?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Like
Can I have food, please?
last year, told when I first came around, like fully around over here. I was like, Bobby, tell me about football. No joke. We sat in this truck. You probably don't remember this. And Bobby was like, all right, they picked this. It was like laying some things out to me.
Yeah, yeah. To give him a little.
It was like,
The guy scored.
Brief lesson.
The guy scores. Landon's like, he got a bucket.
yeah, home run, baby. But yeah, man, like I love sports. I love the competitive nature of it. I guess just growing up playing it, right? And it served me well being a part of a team environment. I think it's really cool for kids to do that, and but not necessary. But I think it is. It does have some value for sure being on a team.
oh, yeah.
But, all right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be right back where we will dig into the Word. So go grab your Bibles, grab you a cup of coffee, whatever you want to drink this time of year, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Word at Third. Hope you went and grabbed your Bible and something to sip on. We are going to be digging in today to Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. And this is a story about Peter actually stepping out of the boat and into the water with Jesus. And man, it was a great sermon. A lot of good stuff in there. So I'm gonna actually, since you did this, if you want to go ahead and pop the verses up there, we'll read through them real quick, and then Landon, I'll just kind of let you dig through there and talk where you want to talk about what you hit on yesterday, and a lot of good stuff. I got a lot of good notes, so we may pull some of them jokers out. And
I should have brought in my notes.
I got enough for both of us.
Yeah, praise God.
All right, so let's read through this real quick. So Matthew 14, starting in verse 22. Immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Now in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a ghost." And they cried out for fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid." And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So he said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, "O ye of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." So good stuff in there, right? Really good stuff. So let's start in just those first few verses. Landon, what was it when you were preparing? What was it the Lord kind of gave you in the first couple of verses there?
Well, really looking back at the beginning of this whole chapter in chapter 14, where they're going through the death of John the Baptist, learning of it. And then after that, they are feeding the 5,000. And, that's the multitude that we're talking about in verses 22 and 23. After they have had all this emotional distress, so to speak, all this emotional turmoil. There we go.
There you go.
Turmoil. Should have gave me an applause on that one. All that going on. Then they have all this physical labor that's taking place because Jesus had performed the miracle of the 5,000, but the disciples had to disperse it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could go into a lot with that, right?
A lot of work.
Like the Lord still does a lot of stuff today, but physically it takes a toll on us when the Lord uses us.
That's right.
So then this is getting late into the day, and Jesus provides them a boat and says, you get in the boat, you start sailing across, and, I'll meet up with you. I'll go and dismiss the crowds. I'll go and do, get them situated and everything. And of course, Jesus, like he always does, goes back up and goes and spends time with the Father. He goes, after all of this, he goes and spends time with the Father while the others are on the boat.
So let's stop right there real quick. So, you said you made the phrase like he always does, right? And so it's very important to make sure. Sometimes the devil loves when you do work for the Lord, but then you don't go back to get power from him again. You do it on your own, because then it's busy and it'll keep you from the Lord.
Yeah.
And as long as he can keep you from it, he's good.
Or whenever you do something like that, and you don't go back and give him thanks for just getting you through it.
Oh yeah.
Like you just handle it on yourself, or maybe you get a little big headed and take all of what's happening for yourself. So
yeah, and one thing, man, I remember doing, and this happens when I preach too, but I remember doing prison ministry. We would go in there on a Thursday and we would leave on a Sunday. And man, it would take me about 2 weeks to get over that.
Yeah.
Like physically, like the toil that it would put on you, man. Like it was tiring,
Yeah.
and even on Sundays,
Mm-hmm.
right, when you preach, man, and you just really there's a battle that takes
Mm-hmm.
place, in the spirit realm, and it can affect you physically.
Yeah.
Right. There are times when, man, like after a sermon, I am whipped.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
exhausted, right? And so, same thing here, man. These guys had poured out and they were helping Jesus, and even Jesus himself, right? Pouring out. When you pour out, right, you got to be filled back up,
Absolutely.
right? And that filling comes from the Father,
That's right.
right? And so, Jesus is a perfect example in modeling how we should go back to the Father. Our connection to the Father is through the Word.
That's right.
Right, we got to go back and get filled up with the Word, right? And because then we can pour out some more.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. If we don't go back to that Word, then we can absolutely be in a situation where eventually we got nothing left to pour out.
Yeah, right. The Word gives us power.
For sure.
And everything that we have, like it says in Ephesians 5, that it washes us.
Yeah.
And I know I go back to that a lot, but man, every day I need to be washed off of whatever it was from the day before, from whatever's taking place currently throughout the day. But that, man, Jesus, he goes and he exerts all of this power over healing people. As it says, that they just kept bringing people to him to heal. I can't remember exactly where that's at in Matthew, but kept bringing people to him to heal. Well, he would have to go back to the Father. Because, man, think about like Jesus being like, okay, like you said, when we get up and we preach and stuff, man, it's so like physically exhausting from all the pressure on it before, and the pressure of wanting to deliver God's word well, all of that. Well, we're 100% flesh, we're 100% men.
That's right.
Jesus being man and God, even with him being fully God, he still had to go back and reset.
Yeah, that reset's so important, right? And that's the thing I was talking about. What I was really getting at was the busyness that Satan likes to trap you into, because he'll make you think, oh, if it's related to God, right, you're absolutely called to it. Go, and then you get so busy. And if you're too busy for the Word, you're too busy.
That's right.
You're just too busy. But yep, go ahead and pick up where you left off at.
Let's see, we were at 23.
Yeah.
He went to the mountain to pray. And then in 24, but the boat by this time, I'll read it off of, but the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. So, I picture them, the boat sailing off. Imagine it being really good at first. Like, we're just going across. We're doing what Jesus said. We are being obedient to him. Not even sure what's going to happen probably on the other side when they get there, but just, Jesus said, get into a boat, and Jesus said, go. Well, now we are, like it says, the wind is contrary to us. The wind is against us. We have all of this that's being tossed around. Everything is shaken up. But this is what the Lord told us to do, right? This is where the Lord told us to be. And everything is still just kind of, falling around and stuff like that. And you get into 25. And while all of that is going on in the fourth watch, when it's 3 to 6, the darkest part, man, Jesus comes walking to them on the sea.
Yeah. And you think about it, like it's completely dark, right? You can't see him. And I think about it like being, like going hunting, right? You're out there, and right before the day breaks, it's dark.
Yeah.
You hear all these weird noises.
You see like 12 points everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You hear all these noises. And I don't know about you guys, but there are sometimes me, man, like the hair will stand up on the back of my neck, because I'll see something and it might look like it's coming towards me, but I can't make out what it might be. And it's like, let me put my finger on the trigger over here. Okay, so what is this?
In other words, don't walk up on Bobby if he's in line.
Yeah, don't
If Bobby's
do that.
going hunting on your property, just let him be.
Yeah. No, but like there's this fear, like a little bit of fear that'll rise up in you, and because you can't clearly see what's going on. It's dark, and you've heard all these noises, and you're like, wonder what that might be.
Yeah.
You know, and then 300-pound squirrels start running through the woods, and and it's just
I always have at least
crazy.
one owl that scares me every year.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's all that stuff, man. But you think about it. Ooh. Nice. Yeah. Very good there, Blake.
Yeah. It was that good of a joke.
Yeah, that was solid. Dad joke.
But so they're there in the boat, right? And they can see absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah.
And Jesus starts walking towards them, right? I'm sure they're high alert. They're like, what in the world is this? Who in the world is this, right? And then we get into 26, and then it kind of reveals a little bit more about their thoughts, right? When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, like they were worried, they were scared, they were fearful. Say, it is a ghost, and they cried out for fear.
It's like their fear just escalated even more.
Yeah, like already being in the boat and the winds being contrary and the waves, the winds make the waves do crazy things, and the little boat is rocking, and they're all in there, and
there's
the
so much
storm is big.
in the details of these, like in scripture in general, but like I find it interesting that Jesus made them go. He's knowing what's about to happen. It says they're in the darkest part of the night. They're having the storm basically on them, and then here comes Jesus.
Yeah.
Like he knew what was going on.
Oh,
It's like he's coming to check on them. Like when they're going through like all this, like the storm of their life, basically. And he's just, here he comes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is just so good.
Yep. And that's the thing, man. Like your faith grows in those storms if you keep your eyes on Jesus.
Right.
If you focus on the storm, you know what grows? Fear. Just like it did here.
That's right.
Fear. And that's what grows. So,
But you can't sympathize with them on this too, of it being like you talking about like how you can just see silhouette and everything. You sympathize with, man, all this chaos going on, and man, you're not really even sure because, man, you just see a silhouette. But what gets more to me over that is when 27, when Jesus speaks to him and he says, be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid. I would have think that by then, like I said, they've been following the Lord for a while at this point. They should know his voice because of how much of interaction they've had with him.
And he didn't say this is Jesus. He said it is I.
Yeah. And that is another way of saying, I read this, of I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, all the Jewish stuff back then, I am.
Yeah.
They would have known some of that, but, it is I. But still just shook up, still just consumed in the boat, consumed with fear, consumed with chaos, consumed with whatever it is that your boat actually is, that you're not even hearing the voice of the Lord right, and you're not comprehending what he's saying. You're just still consumed with what it is that's going on with you.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Again, like where you looking, and imagine, like, it's one thing to be in a bad situation and be able to see. I just think about being out in the middle of the water and it being just dark as can be, and that boat is slinging me around everywhere.
And it's almost like,
That's even worse.
If you've been, like, I've been in like bass boats and stuff. And that's got a motor on it. Like, I'm sure then they had paddles or maybe a sail or something.
Yeah.
And like just seeing that kind of thing, that's a job in itself. Whenever the wind picks up and the waves start going, like you have to like control the boat, keep it from tipping over. Like you have a job you have to do that's keeping you busy, keeping your eyes off of Jesus.
Yeah, that's good.
And whenever whenever he's coming across and they see him, that's, to me, I almost wonder, like in that moment, are they looking for Jesus to come save them? Because how else would they have seen him? Because they were busy doing, everything else in the boat, trying to keep it from cascade flipping.
Sounds right to me.
Capsizing.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, hey, Landon, we're getting learning some words today, baby. so yeah, but yeah, I mean, I kind of think about that because like it's not easy because you're just in the middle, whatever water that we're in, you're just in the middle of it.
Yeah,
it ain't like a pond where you can see the bank,
right?
Or anything. You know what I mean? Like you're not as scared, but like you have a job to do there in this time. Like you are intentionally busy.
Oh yeah, it's kind of life or death.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Oh, no doubt.
Mhm.
No doubt. But doesn't every storm kind of feel that way?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the big ones, like
Yeah.
they feel like it's life or death, right? Like
Mhm.
you're gonna drown, or somebody's gonna
Can't
throw
see
you
the other side.
a life
Mm-hmm.
jacket,
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
and he comes in and says, "Do not be afraid." And I'm just sitting there thinking they're in that boat rocking back and forth, and they're probably like, "That's a little bit easier said than done."
Be of good
Right.
cheer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like whenever I come to you and say, "Hey, man, just pray about it," right?
Sounds empty.
And pray about it, and don't worry, the Lord's going to work it out, and right. But depending upon your level of faith and what you're going through and the severity of what you're going through, man, that do not be afraid part, a lot easier said than done,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
right?
I wonder if this was before or after Jesus is asleep in the bottom of the boat.
But
Stories are so similar.
yeah,
You know
well,
what I'm saying?
that's the
there's a
thing
song
when you get the account from different guys, right? You got the four gospels, and just really depending on whose perspective you get in that, right? Some leave the details out. One of the things you brought out was, I think this was the only gospel that actually talks about Peter getting out
Yeah.
on the water,
The rest of
right?
them,
Others don't.
Mark and John, I think, have this with Jesus walking on water, but they stop like right there. Jesus gets in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew's the only one that has anything about these next few verses.
Right. Yep. So I'll do some more studying on that. See.
Yeah, I thought about that like later on, like if that is like different things, because it says in that other scripture that they go and they wake him up from the bottom of the boat,
Yeah.
and he just gets up and he's like, "Why are y'all afraid?" He says that a lot to them, about not why are you afraid? Don't be fearful and stuff like that. I think that man, that is because I think we all deal with fear most of the thing, especially you get into some of these next verses of the actual boat and some of the ways the Lord kind of brought that out yesterday and throughout the week and stuff of like the reasons why we don't step out of the boat is fear. Man, fear is so crippling. Fear can overshadow your faith very quickly if you allow it to.
Yeah. So there is fear, right? What keeps you in the boat is the circumstances in that boat.
Yep.
You don't know the circumstances once you step outside of that boat. Even if those circumstances inside the boat are not favorable,
But you know what it is.
you know what it is, right?
And I imagine kind of them by this point and stuff, like knowing, well, if I hold on right here, I won't get tossed around as much, and kind of like what you're talking about, I can still grab onto this sail and try and control it a little bit. And the other person's like, well, if we huddle up right here, maybe we won't be thrown as much. Kind of having like your secure places on the boat, so to speak, but still you're not secure at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you said, there's even in that storm, there's something there that you can be secure in. And sometimes that keeps us there.
Yeah.
It keeps us in that boat. So
Well, it's so familiar with like you talk about like what the boat is, whether it's comfort, whether it's a boat of fear, whether it's a boat of sin, of whether it's a boat of control, of whether it's a boat of a relationship, like a bad relationship or something, along those lines. Like I said, all of what takes place within there, but we don't know what's going to happen. Lord, I know you're outside the boat, and I know that you have always taken care of me, and you've always been right on things, but I don't really know what's going to take place on that water. But I know the struggle I can keep managing halfway in the boat.
yeah, there's a certain level of comfort that you gain just from the familiarity of a place that you're in, whether it's a good or bad place, right? Like there are people that I believe that don't want healing
Yeah.
because of the attention that the ailment brings, or whatever the situation was. They've gotten comfortable being there, and they don't know what it's like to not be there.
Right.
Right. That whole, you got to become comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're going to be, because the Lord is going to grow you in those places where, you may not be comfortable.
Oh yeah, dude.
because then what am I going to do if I just like Peter, when Peter stepped out on that water, where did he find his comfort? Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
And so we're going to be put in situations that when we step out of that comfort zone, then we have to be focused on the one thing that brings us comfort, and that's Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like forcing you.
Yeah. Well, what is faith if it's not stretched, if it's not pulled?
Well, it'll never grow.
It'll never grow.
It's a muscle that if you don't use it, it will wither away.
Mm-hmm.
It'll atrophy.
Yep.
But hey, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll dig into a little bit more. Be right back. Welcome back to the Word at Third. Let's hop into, we left off at 28. Read us through that real quick and give us your thoughts on kind of the rest of this chapter, Landon.
It says, and Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water. So he said, come. That's Jesus saying, come. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, and said to him, O you of little faith, why did you doubt? And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. So we start out on this, we know that it's at least 12 disciples in the boat, maybe some more, the other followers around.
Yeah.
But Peter being the only one that would say, out of all of them, Lord, command me to come to you on the water. If it's really you, not sure if it's you, not sure, if it's you or if it's not you, but if it is you, command me to come out to the water. And the Lord just says one word, come.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Yep.
He didn't give no long spiel. He didn't say all of this and everything. The Lord just said, come.
Yeah.
And Peter coming out of the boat, man, I think about just how bold that was, how much faith that took to really step out, especially when all the others are stuck just watching, having to step out and being the only one that would.
Yeah.
Man, it's just so much boldness that comes with that. So much that just like we were talking about just a minute ago, what's taking place in the boat, but you don't know what's going to take place in that water.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think about Peter, like it didn't say Peter gathered his thoughts and determined whether or not to step out of the boat. And then what it says, he said, come. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. Immediate, obedience.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't, because once he got confirmation that was Jesus, and he says, hey, Jesus, if this is truly you, call me to come to you. He was seeking that comfort in Jesus. And so Jesus says, come. Mm-hmm. And he said, okay, this is my guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I've seen him do this before.
Right.
I've seen him make a way, so I trust in him.
That's right.
And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out of that boat, right? And one thing that you mentioned about this yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's good stuff, was they were all willing to be obedient to get into the boat, but only one was willing to step out of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was just like, oof, that's strong. Because sometimes God will call us to something, and then sometimes he'll call us away from that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Seasons. Right.
That's right.
And so it's always exciting. Yeah, let's go get in the boat. Right. Mm-hmm. But then it's now it's time for you to step away from that, and change is coming. And as humans, we don't typically like change. We like to be in our comfort zone, our sweet spot, right?
We like to know what's taking place.
Right. Yeah. And so they were all willing to be obedient in the getting into the boat, but only one was strong enough in his faith to step out of the boat. It's crazy, like when you think about that. And I think that, when it gets down and talks about, oh, ye of little faith, I'm not sure he was talking to Peter. I do believe, because Peter took his eyes off of him, it was kind of a, hey, you put your eyes on me. But I think that was kind of more directed at the ones in the
rest
boat,
of them. Yeah.
Who did not have the courage to step out.
Yeah. And, a lot of times we're so afraid of failing that we don't get out of the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're scared of what somebody else is going to think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a ton of people in this world that want to do ministry or do something in ministry, but they're scared of what other people think about them, or if people will accept it, or if people will help them, or if, they'll have what they need to do it, instead of the Lord just told them just to start it.
Or if people will think you're a hypocrite because they don't realize that the Lord can change you and change your heart, and they just hold you accountable to who you used to be when you're a new creation.
Yeah.
Or you get into the boat of salvation on the shore, but then when you're out there and the Lord's calling you out specifically, and you won't step out in that calling.
Yeah, and that's what you was talking about yesterday, being stuck on the pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I say this kind of lightly, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that do that. They could just be doing so much more for the kingdom, but they're more comfortable on their padded seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it talked about it earlier in this passage about fear. And like, what is it? What's the fear, right, that keeps you glued to that pew?
If it's failure, it's better to be out of the boat failing with the Lord. Like, well, you're not going to fail with the Lord, so let's don't twist. Like, I'm trying.
He just picks you right back up, right?
Right. He's going to pick you back up, but it's better to be out of the boat, at least trying to walk into what the Lord has for you, than to never getting out.
Well, eventually, if you keep trying, you're going to get it.
Right.
If you're being faithful and you're trusting Him, He's not going to lead you astray. He's going to lead you right where you need to go. So you might not understand it today. You might not understand it tomorrow, but you might understand, on the third day.
Yeah.
It might make more sense on the fourth day. You might know exactly what you're doing on the fifth day.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to keep going.
That's right.
At a time.
Yeah.
That's right.
For sure. It's interesting, man, like this, how he was interested, right? And then, sure, Peter had some uncertainty, but the one thing that he was going towards, he didn't have any doubt in him.
Yeah, right.
He
Right.
was fully.
I wonder what
Jesus could get things done.
I wonder what Peter thought when he first put his foot over, and then
he didn't sink.
He didn't sink, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would just I'm like, what? Like what is going on?
Boy, this is too cool.
But ultimately, Peter prayed to the Lord, and he answered his prayer right then.
Yeah.
And then, but it's like when he finally came to from that excitement of, okay, it's the Lord. What am I doing?
Oh,
and
dude.
He took his eyes right off Jesus. And straight
and
down he was going.
Straight down, boy.
Straight down.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but especially within like the past year, with some things that the Lord has put me in, and some like ministry opportunities, or just people I've spoke with and stuff, I'll literally like just look in the mirror some mornings and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we doing?
When you actually sit there and you get too caught up in the circumstances that surround everything you're doing, and the biggest thing is, man, when the Lord calls you to it, He's calling you to it. It's not necessarily for you to understand.
Right.
He knows. He understands, right? But we feel like we got to understand everything inside out, because somehow we can give Jesus a hand.
Yeah.
Right. That we can help Jesus.
Right.
Right. Like He needs my help at all.
Yeah.
He
doesn't need any of us.
Right. I'm more likely to mess it up than I am to make it better. That's
and if you
sure.
keep being comfortable in the pew, He'll just skip on somebody else.
That's right.
Yeah. Amen.
When we talk about obedience, this is one thing I've said before, and I truly believe this. We look at obedience from the wrong perspective. We look at it like, man, He's calling me out of my comfort zone to do something that I'm not comfortable doing, that I might fail in, and that I just, right? Instead of looking at it from the perspective of, this is a really big world, and Jesus is able to look down among billions of people
Yeah.
and say, you know what? Hey, Blake, this is the job that I have. I don't need you, but I want to partner with you, right? And him handpicking you, and the how special that is. We lose it in because of fear
Yeah.
or discomfort,
Yeah.
right? If you look and you say, man, the Lord chose me, right? I wasn't picked last for the volleyball team. I was picked first.
Yeah.
Just like
Right.
PE again, fellas.
Do I know?
Just like PE again.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I'll
Dodgeball to
take
the
Blake.
face, right? But like, just when you know that, and when you, too bad we don't have as much faith in ourselves as Jesus has in us,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes, like, we will come up with every excuse in the book why we can't do that.
Look at Moses. I can't talk.
Yeah, right.
They all had some sort of reason
Yeah.
they couldn't do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And the Lord just blew it out of the water,
Right.
whatever weakness it is, it'll be his strength.
100%, right? Like, that's where the strength comes, is in your weakness. Because why? Well, you realize you got that weakness, so it takes you being dependent upon him.
Mm-hmm.
Peter knew he had to be dependent upon Jesus to step out of that boat,
Yeah, that's right.
right? And so we get so caught up in our abilities. And this is just old cliche thing. If he brings you to it, he'll see you through it.
Yeah. It might
Right.
be cliche, but it's truth.
But it is truth.
Yeah.
It is truth, right? And that's the thing, man. Like, if he brings you to it, man, he's gonna see you through it. He doesn't call somebody who is already equipped, puts the calling, you step out in obedience, he gives you everything you need. He equips you
Every time.
every time.
And man, like what the thing that brings me comfort is, like how you were saying a minute ago, he knew how they were going to be when they got out in the water with all the wind. Jesus knew that Peter was going to sink when he got out of the boat,
Yeah.
but he still called him out to it.
So I just thought about this sitting here. So this whole story, of everything we're talking about with Peter, do you think, how much of this do you think helped him whenever the Lord was like, I'm going to build my church around you?
Bro.
Think about this.
Oh,
Hey,
Pedro.
hey, you want to know something? Lucky boy, you mentioned that. What does it say in Acts? It says that, this is in the beginning of Acts. This is after Jesus has ascended. They're in the room, and it says that Peter stood up, and then the rest of them stood up. It was him first, and the rest of them. And this is just in the same way that Jesus always would go back to the Father. And Jesus would always, you can see the character of Jesus and the same trait of Jesus over and over. You see the same thing with Peter, that this time, next time, and next time, he was always the leader. He was always the one to step out.
Yeah, and that, which is amazing to me, because I think of Peter's personality,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, he was so outspoken, a little rough around the edges, right? And the Lord just used him in a mighty way and flipped that around and gave him influence.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the thing, man. Like, there's some characteristics that we have that serve us well if we give it to the Lord
Mm-hmm.
to adjust it a little bit to where we bring him honor instead of self.
Yeah.
And so somebody who is got a lot of energy and is charismatic, right? If they'll let the Lord get a hold of that thing, it can make a massive impact.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Massive
Oh, yeah.
impact, right? And on the flip side, somebody who's quiet and reserved, man, sometimes I've seen some people who are super quiet and reserved, but man, when the Holy Spirit gets upon them, bro, ain't nothing bashful about them.
Landon,
Yeah.
plug.
So, like, Landon, I know it's about to ramp up when Landon he'll be facing.
Hey, he gets that Smith shuffle going.
Yeah.
Uh,
He'll start he'll face the crowd, right? And then he'll start going from left to right, and he doesn't look at anybody. He's looking down, and the Spirit's on him. And I'm like, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Let me strap in, because this is about to get good. Let me make sure
Oh,
I'm writing
crazy.
on this. And I love it. I love it when that happens, right? But yeah, so
Landon's so humble right now. He's over there just like, please stop talking about this.
yeah. So
But
he
for real
steps
though,
out on.
go to Third Street Facebook page, watch the sermon.
Oh yes, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Very good service. Very good service. The Lord absolutely stepped in there and used Landon in a mighty way. And I want to say this because there's some things that happen that that draw attention, right? You see the pastor up there, you see the people singing, you see what's out in front of the cameras. Couple of people that are super valuable to what's going on at Third Street that are not in front of the camera for what they're doing this for. Anthony Taylor, and my wife. They come in early on Sunday mornings and they pray over the church grounds, the building, the sanctuary, the offices, the classrooms, everything. Right? And they do war in the spirit realm. And I'm gonna tell you, right, when you start having any type of what we would consider success as a church, when you start growing and there's kingdom work that starts happening in the church, the devil wants to destroy that. So you have to have those people who will go to battle, right? And so, man, I'm so thankful for that we have that. And so I just wanted to give them a quick shout out. And anybody that comes by here, comes through here and prays, thank you. If you're praying for us at home, thank you. Right? It's so very important to the ministry that God has given us here at Third Street.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Prayer has to be the key, man.
For sure. And that's the
to
one
it
thing.
all.
Is that we are a praying church and we need to maintain that focus to
well, and like we even say, for Peter to get out of the boat, the first thing he did was ultimately pray to Jesus.
Yeah.
Call me out.
That's right. That's right. Show me you're there. And then he gets out there on the water, right? He's looking at Jesus. He's on top of the water. And then what happens? Right?
Sinks.
Why?
Took his eyes off Jesus.
Took his eyes off Jesus, right? Sometimes God will call us out of something and we're like, oh, yeah, this is it. And then it gets rocky again, right? Because then we start letting doubt seek in. He's probably like, yo, this is cool. I'm walking on water. But why am I walking on water? How am I able to do this? This can't last forever.
You let the same chaos from the boat follow you out there.
That's, yeah, that's good. You might have to make a reel out of that one. That's good
Someone
stuff.
in the boat. Don't do that. You're going to sink.
Yeah.
You just start walking and keep your focus on him. Right?
Yeah, don't turn back, don't look back and stuff. And I think it's Luke 17. The simple verse that just says, remember Lot's wife. And don't look back. Don't look around at the stuff, man. If the Lord's called you out of something, and the Lord is calling you into something, then don't look back at whatever it was. And if Peter had never stepped out of the boat, like we were just saying a minute ago, it would have never prepared him for the things that the Lord had for him in store. A year or two later after this, and it also he would have never, as much as they've experienced Jesus, he would have never experienced him in this intimate way that it was just strictly them two out there. He would have never experienced that, because sometimes the Lord calls us out of a boat so that you can know him more, you can know him better.
Yeah, and then what we have to remember too is there were people watching him.
Yeah.
Right. So what does that do when somebody, let's put it in today's term,
It's your testimony.
When you are bold enough and obedient, right? You combine boldness plus obedience. That's almost a ticket for increased faith.
Absolutely.
Right. And so if you take that boldness and that obedience and you step out and somebody's watching you do that, right? That is not just an opportunity for your faith to be strengthened, but those people who are watching you.
That's
because there may be some of them right there that's ready to step out of the boat, but they're scared.
Yeah.
And when you have the courage to step out of that boat, then they're like, well, let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? I mean, like, that's what we have to understand is that when we allow Jesus to work in our life like that, it is not always just about us. There is somebody out there who is watching how you handle your storm.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's
right?
the thing is, like, the mind's got to be off of it's about us. It's never about us.
Right.
It's about
That's
him.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
And whatever he decides to do, then that's it. He might.
Yep.
You might go through this whole process thinking that, hey, my ministry is going to be about X, Y, and Z, and you might only ever reach one person. That been his plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right,
You
dude.
know?
Yeah.
So,
But that one person you reach,
yeah,
could reach millions.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
Was it like Ananias and Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear.
You
about
never hear about
Yep.
Ananias anymore.
Again.
no,
I
right.
hear about Paul a lot.
Yeah.
Still today.
Yeah. Well,
But-
just like Billy Graham, right? Like he
That's
was
right.
somebody, it took somebody to get him to stay for that tent revival,
Yeah.
you know? And so, you know, and I think about just like if you're willing to let the Lord work through you, it is so beautiful. Talk about addiction for a minute. It is so beautiful when somebody opens their self up to let the Lord work through that
Mhm.
and pull them out of that. And there's just the number of people who will flock to them because they want to be set free.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity that they have to show the pathway to that started with Jesus,
Yeah.
remained in Jesus, and finishes with Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, what an amazing opportunity.
Oh yeah.
What, like, to see chains get broken, it doesn't have to be addiction. It can be grief. It can be depression. It can be, it can be pride. Like
Yeah.
any of those things get broken off and somebody looks at you and says, he used to be like me, but look what the Lord has done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm sold, Lord. Come on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The work you did in this one, I want you to do it in me.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's that testimony, man. That is so crazy powerful. So powerful, right? But so many times, man, we are so scared and terrified because what happens is when you allow him to change you, you've got to be vulnerable and open up about all that stuff, right? For it to have the power,
Yeah. That's right.
you know?
That's right.
And the Lord will give you the courage to do so
He will.
if you're just willing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't need anything exceptional from you. Just be willing.
Because if you're willing, flip on over to verse 32, Blakey boy. When you get back into the boat, the wind ceased.
Yep.
If you're just willing to get out of it, then whatever.
Let's talk about one thing though. When they got back into the boat,
That's right.
Yeah.
so Jesus got back in.
Jesus
with them.
hopped in there with
That's right.
because they were the only two out of the boat.
Because that's the only one that's going to bring you peace.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. When you go back into that circumstance that you got out of,
If you don't take Jesus back with you, you're gonna fall into the same trap again.
Every time.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
hit the wrong button.
no, I didn't hit.
Whoa.
No, I didn't. That was a good one. That was a good one, right? But it's so
man.
true, man. Like when you go running back into that burning house to save people, you better take the things that kept you from burning up.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, like you got to take Jesus with you when you go back there. And we talked in Sunday school about the evil spirits returning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you leave any foothold, right, you don't go back into a burning building if you're not prepared,
That's right.
you know, because then, woo, talk about it can get ugly.
Yeah.
You know, it can get ugly. And so when the Lord brings you out of something, right, you've got to take him back into it with you,
Mm-hmm. That's right.
you know, and that's
right.
That's sometimes what we forget. Oh, I got this, Lord. You know, I know you take care of somebody else. No,
You'll
don't.
fall right back into that trap,
Yeah,
man.
that's
I
right.
mean, dude, see it
That's
so much, man.
sure.
I've done it in my life.
Yep.
See it in other people's lives, especially we talked about like interdiction, you know, and things that we get set free. Then we kind of just think we can do our kind of our own thing. And then we're just back in the same mess we were in to begin with.
And then that circles back around to 33. And
Yeah.
said, Jesus got back in the boat with him. And then
Mhm.
look what's going on.
Yep, came and worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." You know, and that's the icing on the cake, right? Is the realization that they have just encountered the Son of God, not just encountered because they've been walking with him, but And it's just crazy to me, like that they would even have to say, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Have you not watched all these things? He just
Yeah,
fed
really.
5,000 people. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Right? That's how fickle our emotions are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the difference is it was they watched him as it was healing something or helping something that affected their life, and in this moment, it was affecting like their own life.
Just personal.
It wasn't
Yeah, it
other
was
people's
personal.
life.
Yeah.
You might not pay attention to it as much when it's somebody else.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good thing, man. Because you sit there and you think, well, maybe the Lord has healing for them or them or them, but probably not for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then he's like, oh, no, I got it for you too, bro.
Yeah, right.
You know?
But it all comes back to one man stepped out.
Yeah.
One man stepped out on faith. One man was able to push everything else aside, be obedient to the Lord, and to step out of it. So because of his stepping out, he could bring Christ back in there to others. And man, then everybody gets set free. Everybody gets changed and stuff because one man stepped out. And, no, just going over from yesterday, but that's what a lot of it is we lack a lot of just stepping out. We lack a lot of just throw that one leg over, rest of it's going to go.
Yeah.
Man, I know there was like times when I wasn't following the Lord and I would sit underneath like a heavy sermon or something, knowing I needed to go down to the altar and stuff. And if I'd ever just stepped one leg out of that pew, I was down there.
Yeah. You wanted to stay in your boat, though.
Oh, yeah, right. You want to stay in that little boat. I don't want to go out to where Jesus is because, or for one, I know I ain't living right. And and another thing, this is going to really make it evident to everybody else.
Yeah.
And that is fear of what other people think.
Hey, it ain't nobody's business while you're down there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'll
Man.
tell you now.
Good.
Stuff
I can
like-
go down there and I might not have a problem. I might just be going down there to say thank you, Lord.
oh,
right.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I might
absolutely.
be just as wrecked as somebody down there dealing with something.
Yeah.
just
When you
because I'm
start
saying,
worrying about and concerning yourself, well, why somebody else is at the altar, you got a problem.
you need to be at the altar beside.
That's right.
Well, and you'll start sinking.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right.
Even
That's
if you
right.
get out of your boat and you start thinking about, man, I've seen this before. People would get out of the pew and then walk back to the pew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that, man. That's, I'm like, oh, it was so close. So close.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sit there, well, I don't have to go to the altar. You're right. But there is
Sometimes
something.
just that act of like, it's different. It's not the same as being in the pew.
Well, to me, it
I will
is
say,
disobedience if the Lord told you to get out and go to the altar and then you don't.
yeah, I'll say this, and if you're watching this, I don't like just see who goes and who doesn't go, but I've heard some people say that they're unable to go to the altar.
Yeah.
And then maybe a month later they go down there, and then you see them back again and again.
Oh, yeah.
and again and again, and it's just something different about. And I think once they experience that, they're like, okay, now I see why they're saying something about going to the altar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to the altar to me is the equivalent of stepping out of that boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because, man, if you know that you can go down there and you can lay down something, the purpose of the altar is sacrifice.
That's
Dude,
right.
I can't tell you how many times I've been at the altar and like I haven't talked to anybody about what I have going on or whatever, and somebody just come pray over me and they just say exactly
Yeah.
what's going on. And you
Yeah.
talk about like just
Next thing you know, you got a wet face.
yeah.
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 Like there was one time that I was down there and I was Landon, you did it. So I was down there praying. I was just giving the Lord thanks. Landon comes over to me and he just starts praying. He goes, Lord, we're just so thankful, for this family. And, just kind of went down that road. And I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh, man.
That's one thing to me, man. Like whenever it's super important to me is whenever I look and I see somebody down at the altar, right? And especially if it's somebody who normally wouldn't come down there, man, go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You ain't got to know what to say. You can simply just put your hand on them,
Mm-hmm.
right? But don't let them be down there by themselves.
Man,
it shows that you'll fight with them, man.
Right.
You'll get down there and you'll fight.
That's right.
Whatever they got going on.
Oh, yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
pray for them. You'll help them.
That you're with them.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
all
back in
people care
like,
about. Even if you don't say anything, man, just be with them. Let them know
Yep.
that you're there.
Yep. And then get up, give them a hug.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sometimes just another body.
Yeah.
Which is good,
Yeah, you just feel support. You don't feel alone, right? You don't feel so like isolated and all the attention's on you.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because some people that's really hard for,
Mm-hmm.
is to say, okay, I'm down here. Everybody's staring at me now. Everybody's wondering about my junk,
Yeah.
right? And then like which is, oh boy, I could.
Bro, standing by, I ain't gonna call no names on here, but standing by, this has been like probably about a month ago. Standing by a guy I was sitting beside in church and stuff. And, I always sit on the outside of the pew and everything. And man, I just kept hearing the Holy Spirit say, you need to get him. You need to pray. You need to pray for him. And, it's kind of just like back and forth on it a little bit. I guess I was
Scared to get out of that boat.
I was, get out of the boat.
I was thinking of contemplating if I was going to get out of the boat.
Yeah.
But, man, I looked down and I said, you want to go pray? And dude just
Oh,
Dude just
man,
broke.
praise the Lord.
And man, it was really good. It's really good for the person, but it's also good for you too, man, to
Yeah, it
experience
is.
the Lord that way. And man, I had this back in like 22. Had a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff with like the Lord and just a lot of stuff just everywhere. And we were down at my brother's church at CFI, and this was in the music, the worship time. And I was just like, felt like you needed just to pick me up off the floor, because I was just getting just ate up. And I went down there to the altar and prayed, and there was this lady that came up, and I know she prays a lot over people. She talked about that, saying stuff that you need to hear and saying stuff to the Lord. And ultimately that's prophecy. That's somebody like prophesying. Man, I didn't hear any word that she said, but my ear got inclined to, she said, Lord, set this man free.
Mm.
Oh.
And dude, when she said that, I literally felt things fall off of me, bro. Like
Yeah,
it was
dude.
intense, bro. And man, I love stuff like that. I love it. And that only happens if you step out.
Yeah.
And this was which I feel different about as a pastor. I'll go and pray over women and stuff at the altar if I feel led to and stuff.
Yeah.
But this isn't like a pastor's wife. This isn't like anything, but it was a woman coming up to another man to pray over. That's kind of bold in itself, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
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 But transformed me.
And there's something about women praying that just some strength and some power in that.
Yeah.
There really is, man. Like some of the, I think about Miss Lily Weaver.
Bro.
Pray the paint off the wall.
Yeah, when she steps in the building and she starts praying, you better go ahead and buy the primer and the rollers, because you about to be repainting, right?
Okay,
Like,
I'm gonna tell you this: if that woman has something like comes up to you and says, "I need to tell you something," you better listen.
yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
I will tell you, I was in. I go to the hospital, right, to visit folks, but I was in there for my own self, and she was there. She works at the hospital, and she saw me out there, and she come out there, and she's like, "Hey, Pastor Bobby, what's going on?" And I said, "Oh, it's not feeling great." No other word said. Grabbed me, put her hand on my shoulder, and just started just proclaiming healing.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, like, I love that lady.
Oh yeah, dude.
She is a force.
Man, that whole family, anointed, bro.
Yeah, Q and Monica and all them, man. They're just phenomenal people.
Mm-hmm. They
Phenomenal
are
people.
They are.
Yeah. All right, we're going to be back in just a second to wrap this thing up, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the Word at Third for our final wrap up. So I've got a question, and I'm gonna pose it to you, Blake, because I feel like if I don't, you'll just steal Landon's answer.
We went over this a while ago. I specifically said, ask Landon.
I have no clue what this is gonna be.
We had no idea.
Okay, so if you've got someone who is in that boat and they are contemplating stepping out of that boat, what's your encouragement?
Oh wow,
Man, that's deep.
that is deep.
Nike logo. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it, man. I don't know. Like I fought that battle. You're scared. You have all these emotions. You're worried. But at the end of the day, man, I've been more freed up just being free in Christ and being chained up by darkness. So I mean,
right.
that's just
That's strong.
I would say for anybody that's just, if the Lord has put it on your heart to do something, and I know, like, you know, with me, I'll talk to you. Both of y'all are free to talk to anybody. I know you get paid to do that. So, in all serious though, but yeah, I mean, if the Lord's put it on your heart, man, you don't have to ask permission to do it. Just do it. You know, I would just say, because you know He's gonna lead you through it. But the way that you're really going to get through it is if you are in constant communion with the Lord.
That's right.
You know His voice.
Mm-hmm.
If you're relying on your own thoughts, it's probably not going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, Landon, what would you say to somebody contemplating stepping out of that boat?
I would say it's better to be a gatekeeper in the house of the Lord than it is to dwell in the tents of the wicked.
there you go.
Meaning that you need to, if it's going to be, you know, the boat, you know, things are well in here, promise you it's better out there.
That's right.
I 100% promise you it's better out there, and whatever calling it is. Man, one thing, like, and there is so much fear. I don't think of anybody that's ever been called out of anything or called to something has ever not been afraid of something. You know, you feel inadequate. You feel just all these kind of different emotions and stuff. I promise you this, the Lord will supply everything you need, and then you can rest in it.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
So, Bobby, what about you? You're not getting off the hook. You ask me and Landon a question, then you say, all right, that's it. No,
This was not designed to go this way. But you know, if I had to encourage somebody, it would be take that step, and as you step, keep your eyes on Jesus.
That's good.
You know, like you if you worry about everything surrounding you, those are the things that kept you in the boat to begin with.
That's right.
And you're trying to step out, right? You can't look at those things. You got to stay focused on Jesus, because those other things will keep you in the boat.
Oh man, that just made me think about. I know we got to go, but you know, if those things are those people keeping you in the boat, if you go back to them, take Jesus back with you.
That's right. That's right, for sure.
Yeah,
for
if
sure.
you got people that are holding you back and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably need some different people.
Yep. So before we wrap up, a lot of cool things are happening here at 3rd Street. Man, we just elected 3 new deacons, and our boy Blake is one of those. So
Who is that?
congratulations.
Oh, I thought he was in the wall.
Yeah. I wasn't going to do you that way. I wasn't going to do you that way. Congratulations, my brother. We've got Mr. Virgil Schofield and Nick Brewer. So I'm super excited. 3 guys that I know love the Lord and that will serve this church well. So we'll be doing that soon. And then we are stepping out into social media. And what were you telling me about on the break?
Yeah, we are trying to get more acclimated, I think is a good word to use here, with social media, and just taking clips and bits from the sermons and the podcasts and some other things. You know, I'd love to get the youth involved in some things, but yeah, just we're gonna we have an Instagram page now. It's let me pull it up real quick, and I'll put a picture of it on here as well.
Yeah, Instagram. Cool.
But anyway, if you go to Instagram, it is TSBC Cordial is the Instagram.
Nice.
So it's got a nice little cute logo, you know, all that fun stuff. So
have to check it out.
And from that, you just, just going to post some videos and things like that. Just short clips instead of like the long podcast. So, but yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah. Feel free to reach out to us on any of our socials. We would love to hear from you, any feedback or any ideas, questions, right? For sure. At some point, we may wind up running this thing live at some point, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Hey, we do pretty good with one take for the most part. You know,
once we kind of got the audio stuff figured out, it's a little better.
Yeah.
So
why are y'all scared to step out the boat?
I'm not. Hey.
Yeah. I could not get by with that. But hey, thank you so much for tuning in to the Word at Third. And here we got these guys laughing again. But glad you joined us, and I pray that you will take this. I pray that this session, this episode, it's episode 5, I think. Yeah, man. So episode 5, I pray that you got something from that. I pray that it will encourage you, whatever the Lord is calling you out of, that you would be willing to step out and trust in Him and keep your eyes on Him. Feel free to share this video, like it, share it, listen to it, right? Tell your buddies to listen to it, call your mama and them and get them to listen to it. You got to sneak a little Billy Bob in there. It's an outreach opportunity. It's an outreach ministry of Third Street Baptist Church. So we do thank Third Street for allowing us to do this.
Absolutely.
But for myself, for Blake and Landon, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode.
See you.